Inspires. So I did my makeup, and I really like how it came out. I'm gonna take off my glasses so you can see. I don't think I've ever been able to get my cut crease to this level or been able to apply false lashes as easy as it was for me this time. And I just think, like, even lip liner and brighter colored lipstick, like, I think the time that I've been spending alone has allowed me to challenge myself, and it has allowed me to grow in so many different ways. So today it's crazy because I just clicked my camera on and the idea of what this video is going to be about just came to me. So I'm just going to talk about how I feel like isolation brings growth. I'm going to keep my glasses off because I'm really proud of my makeup. I'm sorry. Kind of just need to live in this moment. So let me go to the credits. Not the credits, but the intro, and then we'll go ahead and get into the video. Okay, so also let me just plug in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I'm pretty awesome. You should just click subscribe and make sure you click the bell next to it. Though that goes for the people that are already subscribed. If you don't click the bell, then you don't get any notifications, and then you will see my videos, and that'd be so sad. So for as long as I can remember, I think the first time that I like really understood this topic of like isolation, I was like really young. So like in high school, we did like social studies, and we talk about all the different civilizations and how a lot of them branched off and they isolated themselves, and that's where they learned their culture and their traditions and everything that made them them, you know? And it's like without separating themselves and making that space and creating that space for themselves, they would have never been able to identify individually, you know? And so I think that's always stood out to me in history, and how like different civilizations and countries create laws and countries create traditions. This all comes with isolation, because if you're in the midst of everybody else and if you don't separate and identify yourself in a particular way, then you're pretty much all the same. So I feel like a lot of the diversity that is in our society has to do with a group of people isolating themselves from the rest and creating their own culture and creating their own thing. You know what I mean? Even with countries and the continents, like these like Pangea was the original, you know, thing, and then everybody separated, and now that's why we have all these Asia, Africa, Europe, like all these different continents and countries that have their entirely different cultures. Of course, their natural morals and ideals of life are pretty much the same, but as far as traditions, they're pretty unique. You know what I mean? So going back to that, I feel like isolation also brings growth in self. You know what I mean? Not just an entire body of people. It's also like individuals, like, you know what I mean? You grow so much when you decide to separate yourself from other people. If you decide to separate yourself from someone and work on your craft, if you decide to separate yourself from someone and work on a particular thing, it's so easy to get better at it because you're taking the time to work on it, be by yourself and ask the questions to other people so that you can apply it to your work. And there's nothing like being able to watch yourself grow, and there's nothing like being able to watch yourself fail. You know what I mean? Because without failure, there is no growth. Without you pushing yourself and failing and failing and failing, there is no growth. And it's like, I know I have so much room to go, but it's like when I think about where I am now in comparison to where I was, there is a drastic difference, you know? And it's like a lot of the things about myself now I don't even recognize. Like, I feel like if I looked back at my old self, I wouldn't even be able to recognize a lot of the stuff. And so I feel like it's so important to isolate yourself, because with isolation truly comes growth. Because if you are in a group of people, if you are just putting yourself in a group of people all the time, you have no room to hear yourself think, to hear yourself, you know what I mean, be. And I think so many times, because I'm always by myself for the most part, not in a lonely way, like I like being by myself, but I'm usually by myself. And I think that I've thought to myself so many times that I like the person that I am when I'm by myself a little bit better than the person that I am when I get in contact with other people, because I feel like when you're in contact with other people, so much different energy and different things come into play, you know? And it's just like you don't really get time to hear yourself think. And a good friend of mine, my boyfriend actually right now, told me and he explained to me that your thoughts are most pure when they're in your head, you know? So when you isolate yourself, you get to see your most pure thoughts. You get to see your most vulnerable self. And it's like you don't get to be that person with other people, because not everyone can you vibe like that with. There are people that you can completely be yourself and talk to, but not everyone can you vibe like that. And I feel like it's so important for us to understand the importance of stepping back and making time for yourself. Because isolation brings growth. Like, it really truly does bring growth. And it's so important for us to understand and not be afraid of being by ourselves. Because I feel like there's this idea that if you're by yourself or if you do things by yourself, you're a loner or no one likes you and all these different things. And it's just like, I think it's really ridiculous. And I think we need to work on that, because it's like, how are you going to be able to hear yourself if you're never by yourself? You know what I mean? I feel like a lot of people don't even know who they are outside of their family and their friends. And it's very unfortunate, and I really hope that people get to that point where they can make time to be by themselves. Because if you can be comfortable by yourself, that means that you are self-sufficient and you do not need, you know, like, I feel like a lot of people be feeling like they need to be underneath somebody. You know what I mean? And it's different when you have psychological and mental things going on where you literally would rather be in the company of other people. But I feel like some people don't want to be by themselves because I think they're afraid or it's scary for them. And you know what I mean, like, you might have reasonings behind that, but I really think that it's important that we learn to be by ourselves and be comfortable by ourselves. So yeah, I think in conclusion, isolation brings growth because you get to hear that voice. You get to hear that person that you don't hear when you're around other people. You know, you get to be that person that you truly are. And you really get to see yourself from a different perspective. And from there, you get to really attack those things that you feel like you need to improve on. And you get to improve on them, you know, at a faster rate, I even feel like, than if you know what I mean? Like, express all of these, like, gripes that you have with yourself with other people. I feel like you don't really, you know, people can give you their opinions and they can give you their suggestions, but I feel like the rate that you improve at is much faster than that if you were, like, with a group of people. I don't know if that made any sense what I said, but to me it made sense. So yeah, that's my conclusion. That's my video. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it hit somebody, it touched somebody. Yeah, if you're not subscribed already, please subscribe. And leave a nice comment or leave a suggestion for a new video. Subscribe. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.